Y'all have been a group for a while now. For a brand new fan that is just discovering the Vapor Caves for the first time, where would you want them to start in your catalog? And you
You want
both
me to
might have
answer?
different answers.
Oh yeah. Um, if someone was just being introduced to the Vapor Caves, I would want them to start with a great tune called Hurry Up and Wait, which um felt a little like the first tune that we really put our foot into, like a new boogie sound that we really have been trying to capture for a long time. I think that both of us being, children of funk a little bit from our parents and from Florida and Los Angeles, we've kind of tried to figure out how we fit in it in a modern context. And I think that Hurry Up and Wait is a really good example of that. So new fans, go scope Hurry Up and Wait.
Awesome.
Oh, me. Okay, never mind. I agree. Honestly, agree. That's a good first one. We like to start shows with that one. There's just like a joyful vibe, and yeah, it's fun, but it's deep. So that kind of, it's a little taste of what we have to offer.
And it's the kind of shit where if you're feeling really impatient somewhere, you could just sing it to yourself. Hurry up and wait, hurry up and wait. And it's like, it's just a mantra that you can hang on to. Yeah. For me, modern funk king, Dame Funk, super big inspiration. He is just like a wonderful, positive light that we have got a chance to be in a room with multiple times now, and he's just so supportive. I think that that's like really the base for collabs, like feeling out the room that you're in with someone else and making sure that you trust her. And he's just like one of the sweetest men in the world. So not only his musical talent, but he's just a dope dude. So for me, it would be Dame Funk.
That's a great answer. I think it's really important. I think knowing how someone is in person is really important, like getting a feel for who they are and how your like personal energy works. So I feel like there's so many people who musically it would be sick to collab with, but then you meet some people in real life and they're kind of,
oh yeah.
Oh
yeah.
All right, never mind, you're great, but it's just not going to work out between us. Dame has such amazing energies, and we know that, so that would be really great. Shit. Who have I met? That's dope.
Haven't met, and you hope that they're dope when you meet them.
I don't know. I for the Vapor Cave specifically, that's harder to answer. I think for me personally, that's easier to answer, right? There are some like really great artists that would be so sick to collab with, like Missy Elliott, right?
I think that's a great answer.
I would love to collab with Missy on some Vapor Cave shit. That would be really interesting.
She could rap at any tempo.
She was the first that put in my head.
Yeah, I think that's a great response, and Missy is, the ultimate collaborator. I think if you can get it, you won, right?
Missy and Dame
Missy
Funk
and
the
Dame
Vapor Caves.
and us, yeah.
Have you heard?
Look, I'm just happy to be a fly on the wall if I can do that.
Have you heard the Skrillex reboot with Missy recently?
I haven't. I need to listen to this.
It's like bounce and EDM and rap. It's just the craziest shit.
It's so good.
They're both really beyond as producers, so I'm sure it's incredible and fucking weird and just out there and great, and people will dance to it. So yes, when we get done with this, I'm gonna go check that out. So the theme of this album and this entire project is it starts with love, it ends with love. When people ask us what the it is that we're referring to, we're talking about the music industry. We're talking about what makes you want to keep doing this as a creative every day. On your worst days, on your best days, what is it that makes you want to do this?
The experience of living with music in your heart and wanting to share that with people. I think that's something we like related to very early on when we first met each other, and that's genuine within others. You feel that and connect, and I think we both have felt that in our lives for songs. So it is ingrained in who we are and how we express who we are. And I think it feels really to us, you know, we want to share it. Obviously, it's the connectivity, but I think living that experience of feeling it and producing it is amazing. Such a gift.
Beautiful answer.
Keep that. Keep
Beautiful,
that one.
beautiful answer. What
Mine
advice?
is to be really simple.
Oh yeah.
Mine is mine is mine is the it is when your face goes like this. That's the it.
I think that's a good
It's when
answer.
it's when the bass line and the harmonies come in at the same time.
Just the stank face.
The original tune you wrote together had such a Latin flair. Like I've noticed, Cam, you as a writer and producer have, man, you're just like tapped in on the Latin sound. And I don't know if it's Texas or the fact that you're just like such an ill-versed musician, but it seems like
I grew up in it, so we could say a little bit of all of that. Thank you.
yeah, I think so. And so it just seemed like the way to was to double down on the Latin side and add a little Brazilian twist to it. So we did some like Brazilian vocal percussion, which like I've always been a fan of hearing that stuff. So I just did it myself and felt like a nerd in the studio doing it. And then on some of the chording, there's this synthesizer that mimics a vocal, sort of a vocal sound. So that was what those main chords were. They were these like vocal synths. So yeah, that's really like the basis of it all. And it just kind of sits in this groovy sort of funk Brazilian feel, which is like definitely one of my favorite places to exist in.
Yeah.
We just put a little more sauce on it. Like it was already saucy. We just added a little more sauce.
Sauce.
Yeah, a little VC.
Speaking of sauce, in addition to the vocals that you added, were there any plugins or instruments or anything that maybe you'd been sitting on that you added to this track that doesn't necessarily show up?
So naturally, all sorts of Latin percussion. Highlighted on the original was the cuica, which is a Brazilian percussion instrument that sounds like when you have straw going into a cup at a fast food restaurant.
Yeah,
and,
that's
so
perfect, perfect impression.
That one, you know, until we found the real one, you had to use the straw.
Yep.
And all sorts of, you know, cowbells and percussion like that. But in terms of the plugins, I use a bass plugin from Spectrasonics called Trillion. That's the closest you can get to acoustic and electric bass for a musician that mostly works inside of a box. It's ironic that I'm constantly trying to chase the more natural sound, even though like, I'm using electronic sounds. So I think that a lot of producers like me, beat makers, we just want to make things sound more analog. And that's part of the process is like, how do you get closer? Like you find the recorded actual sounds and then you lay them across the synthesizer. So pretty much every sound that I use, except for that vocal synth, we're all, you know, emulating real instruments, which if you look at my studio, there's no real instruments. I produce on a computer like most other beat makers. So that's how it was made.
Well, thank you. And I think it's important to bring that type of stuff up sometimes because even though, yes, we're all chasing analog, sometimes, a lot of times we ain't got that analog money or that analog time. And so it's like, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. And having been in a band that has been doing it the long way for so long, I really appreciate what technology can be and as a gift to us. And so, you know, I'm very much so into the whole working smarter, not harder. So thank y'all so much because I mean we are just big fans of it. We've been sneaking it into the clubs and you know it's release day and now it's out in the world and we're just really, really excited for so many people to hear it. And, you know, I'm really glad that you brought up the Brazilian influence because we've had a lot of Brazilian fans in the DMs for a long time that were wondering what that was and wondering if it was a cuica or not. And, you know, I'm hoping that we get to take our asses down there eventually and perform, and definitely do this one down there. But, you know, it's just been a dream to have this song come into fruition and to work with y'all. Our band is such massive fans of everything y'all do, and, you know, just are very honored to have had y'all do this remix. And yeah, we hope the world loves it as much as we do. I have two more questions for you. So I co-produced one of your new singles called Sacrifice with Jim Eno that dropped last month via Vinyl Me Please. If y'all were to produce a song for the Suffers, would you want it to be in the same arena as BU in terms of genre, or would you go a different direction?
I think maybe the cross street between Sacrifice and BU, like getting a little more into the Sacrifice boogie house, you know, some like real meaty vocals, you know, but like keeping it fun for the band as well, obviously.
Yeah.
And
we'll have to keep this conversation up, because I think that's where we've been at mentally.
I have a different answer. Man. So what's the Latin? What's the y'all
Oh,
join
Don't
on
Bother
the record?
Me.
Don't
Yeah,
Bother Me. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I hear the music first. Don't Bother Me is like my shit.
Yes,
Bleep
I love it.
that out. Don't Bother Me is my jam. And growing up in Miami, I was like, man, this feels like my entire childhood, but in a modern context. And like Cam is stunting all over it. The horns are going crazy. You still have the percussion going crazy. I love that sound. I love the crossroad between the funk and music so much.
Isn't that kind of what I said though?
Yeah. Yeah.
Kinda,
It's okay.
yeah.
It's okay. We had to let him get it out though. We had to let him get it out.
I love hey. This is why Project Traction exists, so that I could get kicked out of the studio.
Oh my gosh, yes, we'll have to link Project Traction. Shout out to Jim Eno. On that note,
Go ahead.
yes, it sounds like we're gonna be doing some more work together. So yes, both of those directions are where we're trying to go. We're trying to make music that makes us want to show up every night and play. So that's the right track. That's the right direction. Speaking of tracks, thank you so much. We're going to link our brand new track, BU, the Vapor Caves remix. That is a part of our brand new record, the Starts With Love deluxe record that is out now on Missing Piece Records. Thank you so much. Y'all make sure y'all follow our friends at the Vapor Cave. Thank you so much for your time. We love you. We appreciate you. And y'all go buy this record. Thank you.